The internet is very upset with Zayn Malik over his handling of his social media accounts. Why? Well, it all started with a tweet from Run the World saying, meanwhile, amid the backdrop of the Black Lives Matter movement, meanwhile, these non-black celebrities who use black culture to their benefit haven't addressed police brutality. It got 1,100 retweets, 1,400 likes, and Zayn Malik is pictured in it, along with Justin Bieber, Kim Kardashian, and Taylor Swift. Well, Zayn responded, saying, meanwhile, I'm brown myself, and understand it's nothing to do with police brutality. It's about minorities' equality. And a lot of people didn't think that was a good response. Among them, Azalea Banks, who just says, I'm going to leave this here, sidebar, where's Fry Ratson? Which is what's her name? Jackson? Sky Jackson, who she also is in a feud with, after having called Zayn Malik a curry-scented whatever. Is she going to police this? Is she going to jump off her tricycle and put down her teething ring to address this? What an effing wannabe. All told, at the end of the day, the internet was a little upset to extremely upset with Zayn Malik over what he chose to focus on in the Black Lives Matter movement. His final response was, love humans. So did he handle it right? Are people overreacting? Thoughts, 5 words or less.
Zip it, Zayn.
Stick to pillow talk.
Oh, that's exactly what I
Nice.
All right, so now I need to be. Now this is improv
Wrong
training
direction.
coming in. All right,
Training.
wrong direction.
Sorry, man.
In Zayn in the membrane.
Good one.
All right, let's do it.
Both sides address real problems. Like, there is a real problem with minority inequality. There is a real problem with police brutality. I think that both sides need to focus on the others being right, as opposed to just getting really pissed off at Zayn Malik for I think, just saying this wrong.
Yeah, I think that
Maybe I love him
there's
too much.
nothing constructive over just picking on how celebrities handle different issues that we are being faced with. I also feel like there's a little bit of a cultural disconnect because Zayn isn't from the U.S. He doesn't know the systemic oppression that we are experiencing here. I think he's a little removed from it. And I just don't think it does anything to help the Black Lives Matter movement if we're just picking on celebrities for not doing their part. We need to look at ourselves and do our part.
Yeah. The initial tweet I don't agree with about these singers or whatever should be responding to this or should go out and put their views forward. I don't agree that if you have a platform and you're a celebrity that you should be obliged to go forward and share your thoughts on it, because sometimes they might not be the right thoughts and they might not do anything but cause even more controversy. And I wanted to touch on what Brett said. I think that's a very important point, is that we are in the United States at the moment in a very cloudy area where if you are for one thing, it means that you're opposed to the other. And that's just not true. That's just not the way we should be thinking, because if someone is for Black Lives Matter, people just mean they're not for white lives, or they're not for police officers. And that's just obscene. It's not the way that we are programmed to think. Should be programmed to go forward and think that we can stand for something we believe in without being against something else. It's exactly what Trevor Noah said on his platform, where he said that, why is this becoming so instinctive that we just think that if we're for something that we automatically are against something else? And I think that plays into this argument that Zayn Malik, although I don't think he was right in what he was saying, because police brutality is a thing, but again, he wasn't wrong in saying that it was about racial inequality. That is a thing. That is a thing as well.
So Joshua, you said he should stick to pillow talk. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, I said that to be clever, but
Right.
but I
And it
actually,
was. It
I
was
actually
really
am going to
good.
defend Zayn Malik a little bit, because I really love his album, despite the questionable capitalization of the song titles. No, it's great.
It's a great album.
It's great.
No
Mind of Mine
argument.
is classic. I think it's going to go down as a classic album. It's up there with Bieber's latest and Taylor Swift's. You know, basically, yeah, 1989, amazing. Anyway, yeah, so I'm a big fan of Zayn musically, and I get what he was trying to do. I think he did it inarticulately, God bless him, but he was sort of like getting kind of upset that he was being lumped in with the basically non-white, you know, to sort of put him in a category with Bieber and, you know, Kim Kardashian and Taylor Swift. I think it's like, you know, to be in that, to say, okay, you are categorized in this way. I think that's what he was reacting to, you know, when he tweeted. But Yeah, but it just kind of then he ignored the other part of it, which was about the police brutality. And so, but it's very muddled, you know.
And I
it
think
doesn't-
also to be cognizant of, no one is ever going to have the most articulate point that they could in 140 characters or less.
Right.
So it was kind of a trap set for Zayn, and he just walked into it. Because I'm sure that he is, of course, he's got to be sympathetic to the Black Lives Matter movement, because as he said, he's brown himself. Like, that he has experienced, we can assume, some racial prejudice in his life. I mean, look at how Azalea Banks was calling him out, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
But he walked into this trap of trying to articulate his perspective, and you just can't do that in 140 characters or less. Having to defend himself and then also talk about police brutality and also Black Lives Matter, it's an impossible task.
Basically, if he had just tweeted, "Don't call me non-white," or you know, "Don't
Yeah.
put me in that category."
If he had said, "Meanwhile, I'm brown," period,
Period.
and ended
it
at that,
there, then
mic
people,
drop.
right, mic drop,
Right.
exactly. Then
Yeah.
you get it. You know, then you get what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
Versus he just kind of went on, and then minorities, equality, you know.
With ending it with a comma,
because
where
it's,
like the
it's
English
the singular minority apostrophe s equality. So you know,
with a comma at the end, like
with-
maybe you wanted to go on
yeah,
and there was more,
yeah.
but we
I
don't
just
know.
think
we have to.
I don't
we have
understand.
to. We have to kind of narrow in on the fact that he's probably figuring his position out as well, the same as
Right.
everybody else who has the benefit of being surrounded by friends who will say, "That's stupid." I think a lot of celebrities are surrounded by people who are afraid to say, "You're being an idiot right now." So
Well,
he might
presidential
have-
candidates have the problem too, right?
exactly. So
you
you're-
know, a lot of people
Who
have that
could you
problem
be
with,
talking
with
about?
Twitter. You know,
Well,
I don't know.
and on the spectrum of people like Azalea Banks who are just, and Donald Trump, who are just firing it off
Yeah.
willy-nilly and like, "Oh, Sky Jackson, I hate her too. Let me include her on
Except
this."
one of them isn't running for leader of the free world. But other than
Exactly.
that, yes,
But-
God bless. Azalea might someday. Who knows?
I'm sure she is.
honestly-
I'm sure if you ask her, she's running for president.
She
Sure.
is president
Yes.
if you ask her.
Oh, she is.
She's like, I
Already
won,
is
it's done.
president. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, Zayn Malik isn't at that end of the spectrum. He's, I think, trying to be thoughtful, trying to put together the right thing to say. It just didn't.
Yeah, his heart's in the right place. I think. You know, I think that's what people missed from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but.
All right. Do we think we're definitely reaching a breaking point in this country when it comes to relationships with the police? I mean, that's a big discussion, but one that's worth having. Like, as you said, there are things out there in the discussion that people focus on that just trip us up in our sprint toward our leisurely stroll till progress. But like, is getting it back to the discussion, aside from this distraction, what should we be saying about police brutality as it relates to minorities?
Honestly, as white people, I think that we need to be aware that we really should not be saying so much as we should be listening and taking action from those who are leading the movement. A lot of times when you go on your social media, you go on Facebook, your white friend who never left their town from high school or whatever is telling you what we need to be doing about police brutality. And the truth is that we've never experienced that sort of discrimination. We have
exactly right.
absolutely never feared for our lives at a traffic stop before. So we don't know. We need to listen to like D-Ray McKesson. We need to listen to the people who are, leading this movement and take our cue from them. I think that's and act. It's the same thing I said after Orlando. It's not okay not to do anything.
Yeah.
But it is also not okay to take the mic from people who are experiencing oppression and be like, "Listen to me. I'm white. Like you should listen to me.
I think
It's
there are
easier
things
to
like
listen to
let's
me."
move any case of police brutality shouldn't be on the local district attorney, because I think the local district attorney, that they work with the cops all the time, and I don't think that any district attorneys are necessarily protecting the police, but it's a really weird situation to be put into. So they should move that federal. I think there's a lot of cops out there who should be building relationships within the community. I think that, Rudy Giuliani, nestled in his really crazy statements, said in his Sunday interview that the NYPD has become more majority-minority over time to reflect the communities they police. But it would be so much better, I think, if they stopped being sides and were two groups protecting each other.
Yeah, I think that collectively, anyone who has a platform or has a microphone that people may listen and take influence from has to listen to what the oppressed side is thinking about this and what they're feeling. Like, I can't stand listening anymore to the Tommy Lauren, or whatever her name is, on how she is basically making it seem that she's a victim because white people are being victimized.
Stupid.
Who are you? Are you serious? Like, you're going to be going out. There's an article that's surfacing right now, and it was written in Mashable. We talked about it off camera, where a black writer for Mashable said that his life potentially could be endangered when he's playing Pokemon Go because he's walking around the street looking for Pokemon, but he's using his phone, and statistically, he could be cornered by a police officer and handled physically because that's the way this world works. And he has to second guess every single thing that he does in his life. He has to second guess it. Kids now that are being taught to make sure that they go about things the right way. There's a video that surfaced on Facebook where I think it was someone was telling people how to handle yourself when a police officer pulls you over, specifically talking to blacks. When people pull you over, you have to have your hands out. And it's the simplest things that are being taught, but they're essential now because this is the world we live in. And it's not fair.
I was taught that. I was like hands on the thing, but it was different.
Yeah,
There's
it's
another.
it's for your life.
Yeah, it's
basically.
definitely like don't intimidate anyone. Everyone just assumes me to be a very weak person.
Yeah.
But there's another video by Chris Rock that people should watch where he's like, you need to watch the Chris Rock video because it's very controversial now. It was originally a sketch saying like, addressing black people, saying like, here's how not to get your ass kicked by the police. And it's actually this weird, different flavor, but that's another topic. What do you guys think about Zayn Malik's handling of this situation? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.